Previously on The Business.
Let's focus on sport now for just a bit, and the business of sport. When it comes to bookmakers, at least. Lance Michael from LM Bookmakers, first of all, welcome to The Business, and thanks for being on the show this morning.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you for having me.
It's a great pleasure. Tell us about LM Bookmakers. You guys are absolutely massive. For folks who haven't heard of you, though, let's just delve into what do you actually do?
Bookmaking is, my mother-in-law wished and hoped it was people who made books, but not we
It is
bet
one
on
of the oldest professions, though, isn't it?
what we do is now for the last 20 years, we bet on almost anything and everything. Racing is a huge part of our business, and now sport is taking over slowly but surely. So we bet on everything: rugby, cricket, soccer, tennis, whatever's going.
Lance, for many years, South Africa was in a very interesting place because with the apartheid government, no gambling was allowed. But the only form of gambling that was allowed was horse racing.
Yes, correct.
And that was a very, very big business. I mean, it was huge.
Well, years ago there were, on the race course alone you could get 25 bookmakers, between 20 and 50,000 punters. Today there's 2 bookmakers and 40 punters. That's how the racing industry has changed, and everything's gone offline, off the course, online now.
Lance, for those who might not be aware, there seems to be this, it becomes a bit of a grey area when people hear about what you do, because they have this perception that, it's some kind of gambling, and online gambling is illegal. So let's clarify it, because what you do is not illegal. It is 100% legal, but it is different to online gambling.
Well, when you say online gambling, what is illegal is casino online gambling in South Africa. Betting on sport, horse racing, live betting as we would call it today, in-play betting, is all legal. It's licensed. I got licenses from the gaming boards. I hold 7 licenses now, of which I can trade anything and everything, be it online, be it cash over the counter. So it's 100% legal.
You talked about how that whole industry has moved online. Is there still opportunity, though, for new players? I mean, you say you're sitting with 7 licenses. Are those licenses being held in the hands of a few?
Yes, they are. They now become gold dust, so
Right.
to speak. What's happened over the last 5 years is that the big money is now in the townships, in the CBDs, where the masses are now taken to sports betting.
And what kind of sports betting? Is it mainly football? What kind of tops the charts?
Yeah, and in the townships and the CBD is only football.
Yeah.
We got 2 branches in Zimbabwe that's pretty much align themselves to South Africa. It's run in South Africa, but they bet on the same products, and football is the number one sport.
Are we talking about local football and international football?
All over.
Right.
We have up to 15,000 markets per day that these guys, the masses, can bet on. And I say the masses because literally the stores are jam-packed 7 till 7 in the evening.
Really? So online gaming, as we would now think about it in terms of growth area.
Gaming, you mentioned. You
Sorry,
said online
gaming. Sorry, I'm talking about the betting online, as in going online onto a website. That's actually a fairly small market in South Africa.
Well, I've been online now 7 years. I've been in bookmaking 20 years. Well, just under 95 I started. And the online customer is far more shrewd, should I say, or far more informed than the rest of my clientele base. So it is far more difficult, but it is growing, not as quickly as the other parts of my business though.
So, Lance, let's say I want to get into this betting thing online. Talk us through those basic steps for somebody who hasn't done it before but might actually enjoy it.
Well, it's as simple. You've got to be 18 or over.
Okay,
I'm sure
qualify.
that
You
counts-
qualify.
that counts
Career
career
out.
out,
And
which I'm sure you
comfort's
just-
sort of on the cusp there. Okay.
That's rule number 1. The
Right.
rest is fairly basic. You go into the website, you register. At the moment, I'm running a promotion purely for this interview. Is any guy who opens a account online for the first time, mentions Bulls Radio, because we got a column where you can, where did you hear about it? He mentions Bull Radio. He gets whatever he puts in. He gets multiplied. So if he puts in 1,000, he'll get 1,000 credited over and above that.
Wow.
But it's as simple
So
as that.
basically, he gets 2,000 rand to gamble with.
Terms and conditions apply. The 1,000 that I give him, he's got to bet more than 5 bets, and after that, the money's his. But it's a bonus that people enjoy.
Well, we thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Great opportunity for anyone wanting to dabble.
We'll punt that hugely.
Well,
Thank you.
I hope I don't.
You might regret it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That's what I hope I don't regret it.
Okay, so you open an account, you put money into an account,
Correct.
and what do you do next?
Everything's online. You go in, you put your password, which is secure, you put in your details, and you bet. If you win, you get credited, your money is immediately available. 24 hours, you'll have your money. And it's very, very secure. Nobody knows what's going on except yourself, which has become important today. People don't want everybody to know how they're doing. So online is growing in that regard.
Are you having to forge partnerships with, for example, the banks and those kinds of institutions in terms of those accounts and the payment and flow
Well, we
of
do
money?
have payment gateways.
Right.
Your money's, if you put your money in now, it's credited to your account immediately.
Okay.
There are other avenues, but that's the most efficient. Yeah, we have a good few payment gateways. So it's very simple. Problem is it's too simple. It's too easy because what online gaming or online gambling is, it's addictive. So you need to be very careful and you need to be disciplined, because once you get the hang of it, it's too easy to get money in and out the account.
Presumably, you've got a whole lot of back-end analytics that are helping you track what is popular and what are the trends and what are the patterns. So what are the trends that you see? I mean, are most of those online bettors coming from South Africa?
Well, I can only take bets from South Africa.
Okay.
Anybody out of South Africa needs to bet within a South African account. So it's only South African markets. The trend that, as I mentioned earlier, I find the online customer very, very well informed. He's really well informed. He's a difficult customer to beat because at the end of the day, they need to lose for me to win. So the online customer is really well informed, and I'm hoping that, well, what's proven to be the case over the last few years is the more my turnover grows, the more chance I have of winning. But there are a lot of winners online.
So, Lance, it's one of those industries or businesses that has just changed completely because of the internet. I mean, we all have this image of bookmakers, as you said, up to 40 bookmakers on the race course. We all grew up with that. It's gone.
Gone. I started pen, paper, 7 clerks, writing bets, answering phones. Today, I have 4 clerks. I'm talking on my cash counters. They're computers, they're on the phone all day, they've got earphones much like this, and they just trading. I sit at the back with 1 or 2 guys, and I just monitor the screens. That's all I do. I've got a host of guys just taking bets, and the back end or the back office tends to monitor and trade accordingly.
Gee whiz.
Do you think you got into this online space at the right time? I mean, if you'd waited up until now, would it have been too late?
I think so. Yeah, I think every year that I've been in has been an experience. It's been a learning curve. As we speak now, I'm busy upgrading the present platform to facilitate more in-play betting, 24 hours. I have a back office that runs 24 hours. Recently, I was in Australia. My brother's daughter got married, and my brother's involved in the food franchise. So he took me all around Australia, all around Sydney, and mainly to betting shops. And the image of betting has changed so much that it's no more frowned upon.
Yeah.
People spend their days and their nights in betting shops. There's slot machines, there's televisions going 24/7, and the guys tend to frequent these places more often, and I think that's what's going to happen in South Africa as we grow.
I was going to ask that question about physical shops on high streets in the United Kingdom, for example.
Yeah.
You can't go down a high street in the UK, even in this economic recession, without seeing a couple, 1 or 2, betting shops, and they're in every small town,
Very, very true.
and scattered across capitals like London, like Liverpool, etc. Is that going to happen here? Will you see a betting shop in a shopping centre, for example?
Well, it's happening now. You can drive through Kew, Wynberg, the CBD. There's 16 or 17 betting shops. They're literally all over the place. They're not as small and as frequent as you would find them in the UK, but they're definitely becoming more and more prevalent, and the presence is more and more every day that we grow.
Lance, what about the software? I mean, it's incredible software you need to have in place. Is that being developed locally, or does that get bought from international players?
Well, we do have an option. We have an option. There's 2 companies locally that we can use, vetted by the gaming board and approved by the gaming board. Any outside of South African developers need to be SABS approved like most of the products. And once they are approved, you're welcome to use them.
And what about marketing? How do you get your message out there? Because there's still a lot of people who are not comfortable with online and do have reservations. So how do you try and educate people to take them by the hand? The guy who was very comfortable walking up and dealing with the tangible money, who isn't totally comfortable online, but if someone took him by the hand, he'd do it. How do you get that message out?
That's the difficult part. With the new wave of technology that's sweeping the world, not so much the country, people are becoming more and more online, more computer literate. So it's becoming easier in that regard. But the older brigade is where it's difficult.
Yep.
And they still want to bet.
Yeah.
So what you need to do is, hopefully some of them are listening to this show, I have what we have on our website as affiliate programs, where our banners on certain websites, be it over a huge range, not necessarily only sporting events, and you hope to catch the 1 or 2 customers that may still be interested, but yet don't want to drive to a store or don't want to, and are happy to bet online. So it's not easy. Yeah. It's quite a big marketing budget that we have, and every year it grows to try and get our tentacles out there. But we do year on year tend to reach the right people.
So I've got a question that probably sounds a little stupid, but what is the tax implication of winnings from betting?
Well, if you bet on sport, the customer pays no tax. If you win your 100 Rand, you get your 100 Rand. The bookmaker pay over the 6.5% to
I
the government.
see. So you are paying that.
Correct.
So I don't need to worry then about tracking it and keeping tally of it.
Not
And
at all. Unless you're a professional gambler, of
Right,
course, and then
yes.
you'll have your own tax implications. But no, for the social better or the social punter, it's not a hassle at all.
I've got another stupid question that I think I certainly would want to ask if I was not in the know, which I'm not. It's very clear on the front of your website when you go to lmbookmaker.com, global online sports betting. How many people approach you and go, can we play poker? Can we play online gaming? Can we play casino-style gambling? How would you tie in with that? I mean, let's just clarify the difference between the two, because I'm sure you get those questions.
Every day,
Yep.
every day. Poker's huge.
Yep.
As we know from years gone by, Pixpeak
Yep.
fallen away subsequently.
Yes.
Silver Sands, they
Yep.
used to sponsor the Australian Open, fallen away. So
landmark
Correct.
decisions there.
they're all gone. So people are playing poker, I don't know where, obviously on overseas sites.
Overseas sites, but there is a problem. There's going to be a problem
There is one.
because the banks have to report
Correct.
that activity, and I think a lot of people don't realize that they're using their credit cards
Very true,
online
very
and not realizing that the banks are obliged to report.
The
So,
banks have now become liable to question the customer.
yeah.
And he needs to verify, or needs to clarify more than verify what he's doing. And it's become difficult. So turnovers in poker and casinos, I get it every day. But at the moment, it's a no-go zone. It's something I can't even entertain. I'm hoping to entertain it in Zimbabwe, but that's still a couple of months away.
Right. It seems like an amazing industry. I'm certainly going to open an account and I'm going to put Balls Radio into to the little box there.
You're not allowed
Why not?
because you work for Balls Radio.
Well,
No, he's definitely allowed. It's not insider trading.
just give us an indication as to where we can find you online and where we can find you in the real world, if folks want to get hold of you.
Well, we have 2 main head offices. One is in the Heel Fox Power Centre, and then there's one in the old Randburg waterfront, now the Brightwater Commons.
Right.
You can't miss us there. And then online is www.lmbookmaker.com, not makers.com.
Got you.
But we're there.
Fantastic. Lance, thank you so much for joining us today. What an interesting chat. I certainly have learned a little bit more.
Yeah, you see, you just need to speak to somebody, and then you kind of go, okay, I'm going to try it out.
I'm going to give it a go.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it. Listen, I need to brush up on my sports knowledge. That's the one problem.
Well, there's an interesting parallel to be drawn between, we're talking about stocks every day, and we talk to David Shapiro, we
Sure.
talk to people about, you're always asking me, what should I be looking at?
Yeah.
And what,
Yeah.
not hugely different
No.
from taking a little punt on where Manchester United is going to end up, sort of how far down.
That's an easy bet. Right down the bottom.
Yeah, and what the Gunners are doing.
You guys are horrible.
No,
Well, I can
I'm
tell you
online
it'll
there.
change your
and-
life.
yeah.
It'll definitely change your life. You'll
Fantastic.
enjoy it far more.
Nice one. Lance Michael from LM Bookmakers. Have a good weekend.
The Business on balls.co.za. Brought to you by FNB Business Banking.